Welcome to the pecha kucha on the Turcot interchange. The focus of this presentation is on health and climate change and how the Turcot interchange should be done to avoid bad health and avoid dramatic climate change problems in the future. It's a fun presentation and a bit dramatic. Now, a couple of pointers. The Turcot interchange was built hastily in about 7-8 months to be ready for Expo 67. Montreal was coming of age. We had to have an elevated highway like all the other cities in North America. This was our answer. The entrance to Montreal. Note the yellow square is where we're currently going to build the new mega hospital. Now, some people think perhaps we could just renovate this aging elevated structure. It may be cheaper. There's a proposal coming from an architect at McGill University to put arches underneath the structure, enabling us to renovate it continuously for another 50 or 100 years. That's possible enough, but no, the Minister of Transport wants to rebuild it and wants to take a whole chunk of Montreal and rebuild all that all together at the same time, even though some parts aren't as in bad shape as the Turcot interchange itself. This surface area of the current project is about the same size as Mount Royal, just to give you an idea. And the principal idea here is to push all of the highway and the railroad up against the Falaise Saint-Jacques, which would almost certainly kill this potential linear park at the bottom of NDG, experts say. And it would liberate a whole bunch of land, which would be right near the Lachine Canal for real estate development. And there are some well-connected real estate developers looking at that land. But why would we do that? Why not try and integrate the Falaise Saint-Jacques into an existing network of green paths in the southwest? There's a proposal coming from the southwest to link this well-developed network to Mount Royal and up to the Meadowbrook, and the Falaise Saint-Jacques would be the backbone of that. This project is jeopardized if we put all the highway and railroad against there. Now, transport and health. The Direction de Santé Publique, the Montreal's health authority, is telling us we should be worried about our addiction to the car in terms of air quality, greenhouse gas emissions, road accidents, and obesity. We've all seen WALL-E, right? We don't have to talk about obesity and connect it to our abuse of the car. Let's think about accidents. There's a direct correlation between the number of cars in downtown and Montreal and the number of accidents. So the more cars there are in an arrondissement, the more accidents we have. It's quite striking. It's also not healthy to be anywhere near a highway. The 200-meter limit is the troublesome area where most of the studies have been done. We find high rates of childhood asthma, premature death. Actually, 1,500 Montrealers die prematurely because they live close to a highway. We have problems with low birth weights in pregnant women. Now, if we look at the pattern of pollution in Montreal and we look at the highway grid, we see a direct correlation. I mean, it's not surprising. Now, the prevailing winds in Montreal are towards the northeast, so that the Turcot interchange pollution plume actually pours over the downtown core, over Westmount, over the new hospital, and over the downtown core. So this map here shows us some peaks, pollution peaks in the springtime, where we exceed internationally accepted guidelines for pollution in the downtown core. Now, so pollution is one big problem, air pollution. But the other one is climate change. A massive health study done by the government of Canada, which the Harper government tried to bury last summer, said that we are in climate change. We're having a problem with climate change in Canada, and and it doesn't matter what we do about it. If we don't take control of the problem right now. Now, what are other cities doing? Let's look at Seoul. Seoul, in 1972, built an elevated highway, much like the Ville-Marie Expressway, 180,000 cars per day. But by 2000, they were thinking this was a bad idea. In 2002, a strong mayor was elected. In 2005, they took it out and replaced the highway with a river, which they had buried to build it in the first place. Now, where do our cars come from in the Turcot interchange? Well, the east-west axis of the Turcot interchange is a commuter run, and many cars are coming from the West Islands. We see it illustrated in this map. So the red is coming in, and the green is going. Where are they coming from the West Island? Where are they going downtown? Now, in the north-south axis, there's a lot of trucks in there, and the destination is the St. Lawrence Industrial Park. This map here with large red circles shows you where the trucks are going. They're going to the St. Laurent Industrial Park, probably the heart of Quebec's economy and one of the hearts of Canadian economy. So we've got to understand these two different things going on in the Turcot interchange. Now, what do normal old-school traffic engineers do when they're faced with a problem of congestion? What they do is they build more roads, which leads to more congestion and more problems. Now, what do the smart urban planners and traffic engineers, what are they doing? They're putting gas taxes in, they're building mass transit, and they're thinking the problem through another way. That's what we should be doing in Montreal. Now, this is the existing and proposed route for trucks. Now, the red route is a recommendation by the Nicolet Commission in 2002, and it would affect half the number of residents if we were to reroute trucks in that manner. And then finally, the big solution we have to implement in the east-west corridor is all the mass transit projects that are currently on the books. So the airport shuttle, improved suburban trains, more buses, and the tram train to Lachine. And this would enable us to reduce, in fact, traffic volumes by 20% in the next 5 years, rather than increase, which is what the MTQ project is building for. Or we could take the highway out. We could literally remove the Ville-Marie Expressway, perhaps not in the next 5 years, but thinking 20 years down the road, we could restore the Falaise Saint-Jacques and build a fantastic linear park running through the entire island. I mean, one has to dream sometimes. This is a radical idea, but one has to dream. If you feel strongly about this, now's the time to act. Phone or fax Jean Charest right now. Tell him Montreal wants mass transit for the Turcot. We want 20% fewer cars in the Turcot and not 10% more. Here's his fax number, here's his phone number, give him a call and let your voice be heard.